സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറഞ്ഞു. സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ
Everyone, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes.
Binish, sir, shall we start?
Yeah, we are good to go.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി കോളേജിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ഭാവിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ആശങ്ക പലതായിരുന്നു. എന്നാൽ സുന്ദരമായ ആ ക്യാമ്പസിലേക്ക് കയറി ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ആത്മവിശ്വാസം എനിക്ക് ലഭിച്ചു. നല്ല സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ, സംശയമകറ്റി വെളിച്ചം പകർന്നു തന്ന അധ്യാപകർ, പുതിയ ആശയങ്ങൾ നൽകിയ ലൈബ്രറി, ഏകാഗ്രതയും നല്ല ഓർമ്മകളും നൽകിയ ക്ലാസ് റൂമുകൾ, ഡിജിറ്റൽ ലോകത്തേക്ക് പറക്കാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ലാബ്. അങ്ങനെ MES കോളേജ് എന്നെ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് സ്വപ്നം കാണുവാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ വളരെ ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ പിന്നിലാക്കി ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ പറന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. യു ഹാവ് ടു ഡ്രീം ബിഫോർ യുവർ ഡ്രീംസ് ക്യാൻ കം ട്രൂ.
MES College Erumely, proposed PO Erumely, Kottayam, unaided arts and science college under the Muslim Educational Society, approved by Government of Kerala and affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University.
A day without prayer is a day without blessing. Let's start the event with a prayer.
ആലം ദയാലുവായി ദാക്ഷിണ്യശാലിയായി വാഴുന്നോരീശ്വരൻ തിരുനാമത്തിൽ നിഖില ലോകങ്ങൾക്കുമേകരക്ഷകനാകും അഖിലേശ്വരനല്ലയോ സകല സ്തുതിയും. അഖിലേശ്വരനല്ലയോ സകല സ്തുതിയും. പരമകാരുണ്യവാൻ കരുണാനിധിയേ, വിധി പറയും ദിവസത്തിനേകാധിപനേ, നിയതമാരാധിപ്പൂ ഞങ്ങളങ്ങയ മാത്രം സതതം സഹായമായി തീർപ്പതും തിരുമുമ്പിൽ നയിക്കേണം ഞങ്ങളെ നേരായ മാർഗത്തിൽ. നിന്നനുഗ്രഹപാത്രമായോർത്തൻ മാർഗത്തിൽ അങ്ങയാൽ കോപിക്കപ്പെട്ടോരുടെ വഴിയല്ല, സന്മാർഗഭ്രഷ്ടരുത്തൻ വഴിയിലുമല്ല. ആലം ദയാലുവായി ദാക്ഷിണ്യശാലിയായി വാഴുന്നോരീശ്വരൻ തിരുനാമത്തിൽ നിഖില ലോകങ്ങൾക്കുമേകരക്ഷകനാകും അഖിലേശ്വരനല്ലയോ സകല സ്തുതിയും. ആലം ദയാലുവാ.
Good morning. The galaxy of intellectuals, invited guests, faculty, students, and my dear friends. Today, we are gathered virtually for the inaugural function of COMPAS, the Association of Computer Science, and thereafter attending a virtual session on advanced computing trends in 2021. Computers are incredibly fast, accurate, and stupid also, whereas humans are incredibly slow, inaccurate, and brilliant. Together, they are powerful beyond imaginations. Department of Computer Science is a part of our college from its sprouting stage itself. Computer Association of Department of Computer Science, COMPAS, got coined in the year 2002. Then on, the association is dedicated in bringing the best minds working in computer science and machinery together, focusing on educational opportunities for its members. And through this webinar, we are trying to share the recent trends and advanced trends also in our core field, which covers topics regarding orientation, internship, and placement related activities. Now, it's time to welcome you all. I would like to call upon Mrs. Shabina Begum KH, Associate Professor and Coordinator of COMPAS, Department of Computer Science, for an official welcome.
Please start your videos, all panelists, please. All panelists, please start your videos.
Good morning, all. I am Shabina Begum KH, Assistant Professor and Computer Association Coordinator, Department of Computer Science, MES College, Erumely. Department of Computer Science started at 1995 and COMPAS, the Computer Association, started in the year 2002. The purpose of the association is scientific and educational directed towards the advance of the theory and practice of computer science and technology. I am not taking too much time. So I move to the task of welcoming you all to the webinar, Advanced Computing Trends. Friends, we are really fortunate to get Mr. Binish Moulana, Cloud Architect in Technopark. He also heads innovation and platform adoption initiatives of the company and won to Global Hackathon, and also former faculty of our department as our resource person. He is the apt person to conduct the webinar. On behalf of Department of Computer Science and MES College, I welcome you, sir, to this webinar. Mahin Ahmed sir, our principal, gives very good support to all our activities. Sir, we welcome you to this webinar. I extend my welcome to Ms. Rama Devi, a Vice Principal and IQSC Coordinator to this function. Ma'am, I welcome you. Mr. Betty Joseph Ma'am, our HOD, gives very good support and encourages all our activities. Ma'am, we welcome you wholeheartedly to this webinar. I extend my welcome to Ms. Suhana E., Assistant Professor and Coordinator of this webinar to this function. Ma'am, I welcome you. Ms. Asha Jason, Assistant Professor and Moderator of this webinar on behalf of Department of Computer Science, welcome you, ma'am, to this webinar. And even like this cannot create in a day, Mr. Sarjan Yusuf sir and his team members are the person behind the screen. We welcome you all to the webinar. Last but not least, I wholeheartedly welcome all the students of our department. You are the key to success of the webinar. Once again, I welcome you all to the webinar. Thank you.
A quality education grants us the ability to fight the war on ignorance and poverty. And we are very fortunate to have such an eminent personality as our Internal Quality Assurance Coordinator. I call upon Mrs. Rama Devi A., Vice Principal and Coordinator, IQSC, for the introductory address. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Asha. Good morning, all. Today, IQSC and Department of Computer Science is conducting a webinar on Advanced Computing Trends 2021. This webinar is for students of Computer Science Department to make them aware of latest development in computer science. Computer science has become a super science which dominates almost all aspects of human life. Artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning are just a few of them. It is a necessity for computer science students to know the job potential in various domains of IT field. That means we need an IT professional with a good hands-on experience to deal with the subject. We are fortunate enough to get Mr. Binish Bashir, an experienced cloud architect, to deliver a speech on this topic. I am extremely happy that Binish was our colleague and he was a vibrant, efficient and at the same time easygoing person during his service here. And I am sure this will be a beneficial and memorable event for all of us. I declare this event is inaugurated. Have a nice time. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Education is the mother of leadership. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. And we, the Compass members, is presided by such a capable and vibrant personality for the past 24 years. I call upon our beloved head of the department, Mrs. Betty Joseph, for the presidential address.
Good morning, teachers and students. Then, dear Rama Miss, my colleagues and my dear students, and we got an eminent person in the software industry, and he was my colleague, and he was a former faculty of our department, computer science department, and as we know, he is very efficient and the software and different fields, and I want to say about that he's the most suitable person to handle the upcoming session, and nothing more than that. I think it's a golden opportunity to the students to talk about the latest trends in computer science and software field and many other related fields. And I also said that, son, enjoy the session, dear students, and it may be a wonderful session. And all the very best to the students. And Binish, welcome back to MES College Erumely, and talk to our students. And one more thing. Students, you can submit your queries, and if you have any doubt, you can freely talk to Binish sir and clear your doubts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. The purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open one. We got an apt resource person for handling the session, who was a former faculty of our department and currently working as cloud architect in Global Technology Technopark, Trivandrum. Dear sir, we welcome you once more and handing over the mic for inaugurating our association and also for handling the session. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you. How would I start is my problem. It's feeling like tough career with MES.
Sir.
So a homecoming. Yeah.
Sir, we failed one technical glitch. Sorry, sir. I invite Ms. Suhana E. for introducing our resource person.
Please.
Good morning, everyone. Today we have gathered here for the seminar arranged for the students of our college on advanced computing trends, the year 2021. I'm extremely happy to take the opportunity to introduce our chief guest of the day, Mr. Binish Moulana. He's a technocrat with more than 90 years of accumulation in the software industry. He leads the air section, SAP, and also research of IT by Technopark. Yes, to become startups and continue supporting and legacy technoparks. He's a coach, trainer, and speaker at various technical and cultural forums, aiming at activities that are socially impacting communal relevance. Mr. Binish recently won at Global Hackathon, Mr. Hackathon 2020 and Hackathon Feature Hackathon. He's seeking the latest tech trends for cloud, Devops, blockchain, IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and quantum computing. We are really thankful to him for taking the time out of his busy schedule to attend the function. He is also a former faculty of our college. That is one of the main reasons why he cancelled all his work. And was really aesthetic to be here. He is an inspiration to me. It is an honor and a privilege for us to have you with us today. I'm sure we will be enriched by the seminar. So, welcome all for the session. Thank you.
Sorry, sir, there was a slight technical glitch. Over to you, sir. Now you can inaugurate. You are welcome to inaugurate this compass and also handle the session, sir.
Sure. Am I audible? Because I think I was breaking.
You are audible.
It's clear. It's coming out clear, right? Yep. So yeah, thank you for those wonderful introductions. I am nothing but a reflection of what I was there in MES, what I learned from MES, and that's what made me what I am today. So without much ado, I would say what we started in 2002, and I think I was one of the founding members among the faculties when it comes to Compass. So it becomes all the more happy, honored, and to be back with the faculty, with the colleagues who had been there, made me what I am, made MES what it is in this current state. I'm really humbled to be honest, really humbled to be back with the crowd who had been a key part in making a change in the area of Erumely, Kanjarapalli, Iratubeta. That the entire area right now has an address of a good college, that is MES Erumely. So the learnings that we all gather, the ones that we are coming in for, the learning that we are doing in our daily life. So that what you get from MES stands apart. I have heard my students telling me, if you are able to make it big at MES, if you're able to survive, if you're able to make it really good at MES, you can survive anywhere in the world. And that definitely is because of the kind of activities that you do, the kind of ownership, the kind of say such activities where you get to see people, you get to interact and organize stuff that has made a difference in the lives of the children, and not only the children but the faculty as well. That has shown up really well when you see your students, when you see your alumnus coming out really in high flying colors. That is a testimony to what efforts that has been taken by the teachers and the students, and largely the management of MES. So a big kudos to you all for getting this done, taking the true spirit of innovation, learning, and experience to the next level. So that's what MES stands for, and you have already lived that, taking it to the heart and executed it. So with that, I would say I would like to formally inaugurate, but say some 18 years back, what we started, to see that it has come a full circle right now, and me addressing a Compass meeting, it gives me immense pleasure, rather respect to all of you who have taken it so far. I feel along with you, I would like to declare this session open, and I welcome you all to the session, the Compass, the way it has been done, and hope it runs forever throughout the course of the college and the studies of the computer studies that the college has to offer. So with that, I welcome you all to the session. We will start with a small activity. Ma'am, is there a way that we can get, because as far as I have seen MES, yeah, is there a
Sir,
way
can
that we
I,
can
sir,
get inputs from the, yeah, tell me.
students?
Yeah. So are they able to
Sir, are you
ping us
planning for an
in the
interactive
chat?
session?
I would like to get some inputs. It would come on a chat. It could be on say the messaging option, say WebEx, or it could be any way that you want to connect. Is that a possibility?
Yes, sir, it is possible.
Definitely.
Second, sir.
So, sure. So my only ask here is to the viewers. It could be the lectures, because I see a lot of names that we have looked up to. Say Hari sir, Betty Miss, say Rama Miss. So it could be anyone. I would like to get your inputs of your thoughts. What is the future? What do you think right now is trending? Let's hear, like, how much are we in tune with what we are trying to learn? So with that, I think we will start. Can we get few inputs? Meanwhile, I'll take me off the video and then start sharing my screen. Will that be fine?
Students, do give your inputs.
What we are looking for is to see what you feel is the next technology, where technology is headed. I have shared my screen. Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you getting any response, ma'am? Have you started getting
1 second,
responses?
sir.
Sure.
Students, you can respond through the chat box, or else you can even unmute your phone, microphone, and tell your inputs, okay?
Because what I've seen is the students of MES are never ashamed or never staying back or behind. So I think they should come forward and then tell us what they think the future of technology is, and what might be the near technology outburst that would happen in the next year. I think without much ado, we will move on, because rather than we getting waiting on that, we'll
Yes,
move
sir.
on with what.
Sure, sir. We
Yeah,
can move.
sure. So tech sparks is what we call a spark that we want to ignite in your mind, the one that is saying how you can survive in the coming world. We heard it in the inaugural address by Ramamas. She was clear in telling technology is going to touch every walk of our life, and Harizar can definitely be testimony to that, because having technology as an integral part of our life is inevitable. There were people who said that I will not use a mobile phone. What has happened now? In the COVID era, we could not live without technology. We were all siloed into our own houses, our own spaces. Your new technology bend has made yourself to be addicted to technology, or you're prisoners of technology. That's what we would word it in the right way. So tech sparks intend to create even the smallest spark within you, which can give a greatest light that can brighten your future, your career. This is what we intend to do with tech spark. What I have on the screen is is a is an image. Any idea what that refers to? Anyone? What does it look like? It says that we have lost contact. Anyone? You're able to see it's Sanju says, is it a black hole? Very correct. Very correct. What we're looking at is an event horizon, which is the entry point of a black hole. So Sanju, you're right. The significance of this particular event horizon is that there is a point of no return. What we intend to show is that we are at a juncture where technology has overtaken humans. I'm not saying we are living in a Terminator kind of era, but we are there. We are at the event horizon of that. We are at the entry point where AI will decide what would be the next action. Event horizon. This point, 2021, definitely is going to be the event horizon for technology merging with humans. So we are actually living the future today. You name about a scientific fiction, say, item 5 years back, we have it today. We have self-driving cars. We do not have any of those huge servers that we used to have, we live today. So today, when you're attending this session, the first question that you will ask yourself, what is in it for me? WIIFM. Why should I attend this meeting? What is the need for me to go ahead and spend my 2 hours of time? Already 1 hour gone. So why should I spend this remaining 1 hour listening to this? Because recruit people, the trend where we work is learn, unlearn, and relearn. We are not holding on to a particular technology for our work. 10 years before, the scenario was completely different. We used to have people say that I am a .NET developer. I will only do .NET and then I will die as a .NET developer. People who are into Java, they only used to do Java. Who was a DBA, he was only doing DBA work. But now, today, when I am recruiting, I'm looking for a full stack developer. What is a full stack developer? A full stack developer is someone who can do anything and everything which is technology related. If you're given a Python code, you need to build that particular stack with Python. You need to work on database. You go ahead and bring your own database, which is Postgre, it could be a MySQL, but get your job done. The industry has come to that juncture where it says, you cannot be only having one technology and then do everything in your life. No, that diaspora has changed. There is a lot more that is happening, and the life of technology is not more than 6 months. So what is in it for you today is where technology is headed. It's all about data, IoT, cloud and automation, extreme analytics, leading to ML, DL, and AI, some quantum computing, adding more power to it, which again drives better intelligence on machines. Then comes a new normal where it is completely driven by technology. And then the philosophical question, the future and us. If this is how technology is going to change, what does the future hold on for us? With that, these are topics that we'll be connecting today. AI plus IoT or Internet of Things. We'll be looking at we have heard a lot about cloud. Cloud has moved to public cloud has moved to multi-cloud strategies. We're talking about fog computing and edge computing. What analytics has done is it has made computer or camera vision, say the state of art or the normal technology that we use today, and the kind of technology that we are using on OpenCV no code platforms that you really literally need not code anything. It will automatically generate code for you. We're talking about distributed ledgers and blockchain, and how it is going to bring about what has changed in the post-COVID era, the new normal. Now we already are talking about going self-driving cars, electric, completely replacing your normal petrol and the petroleum products, um, the drones taking precedence, which are actually being implemented today. So with this comes to that point where we need to start. That is, for you and me on this call today, or everyone on this call today, I would like to draw your attention to what Socrates has said. To be is to do, which means it is up to you and me to start doing stuff. Earlier, we used to wait for, say, probably Microsoft or Java, or probably our syllabus to have it included so that we can learn it. How many of you learn outside your syllabus? How many of you think you are learning something, you can make it big with what is there in the syllabus or your academia? How many of you read outside what is being taught in college? Do we, Asha ma'am, do we still encourage people to learn outside the syllabus, or we are
Sure,
all
sir.
stuck with? Should we do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that learning, definitely your basics is your academics. With that basics, with the kind of growth that you need to bring about, the kind of projects that you need to do, that will define your future. So this is an introduction as to what Paul. This is not encompassing everything. This will give you a view of what it could be. I'm not saying that this is it. No. What I call for from each of you today is start doing stuff, start doing new things, start learning new tools, so that when technology arrives at your doorstep, you're ready for it. So this is a small video that I would like to play. Let me know if you're able to hear the sound as well. I have shared the sound. Are you able to hear the sound?
No, sir.
No sound. Okay. So basically, you're able to see the movement, right?
Yes, yes. The number is changing, getting
The
changed.
numbers are moving. So what is being listed here is somewhere in a 15-year span. Coca-Cola was leading as the biggest company. You can see gradually companies like Google, Microsoft, IBM coming up the stack. If you note, Apple was never there. Apple was never a brand that was there. You can see Apple moving up and reaching the 1 trillion mark. It was in 2018. It's the first company that hit that mark in the history of all the companies that we ever had. You can see Google growing up, and out of the blues, you can see Amazon coming up with the cloud. Jeff Bezos becoming the richest person. So if you see what has transpired, Marlboro. How many of you know the brand Marlboro? Anyone heard about the brand Marlboro? There was a time when people used to come from, say, probably abroad. Having a Marlboro cigarette was a kind of a status symbol. From there, if you see here, that was one of the most recognized brand across the world, and it used to lead the kind of say technology, not technology, the brand recognition across the globe. So from there, we can see companies like Google, say Apple, coming up and dominating the world market. Okay, it is now that you see here the sound, right?
Yes,
Sorry.
now it is
Okay.
audible, sir.
Sure. So basically, the intent is to let you know that companies like AT&T, Marlboro, GE, HP, Ford, Nokia. The Nokia story is very famous. Cisco, Intel. What's the Nokia story? If you see here in this graph, Nokia was somewhere here, and going ahead, Nokia started to fall, and that is nowhere in this spectrum. As and when you see things are nearing towards a 2014 stage, 16 they are not there. How many of you know the Nokia story? Okay, so I'll not wait for that answer. What I'll do is, Nokia was the leading mobile company when mobiles were introduced. They were adamant. They were not welcoming change. Their failure point was they said, we decide what goes into technology. They were not willing to change to touchscreen. That is where LG, Samsung, and the rest of the world, driven by iPhone, Apple's iPhone, made a huge impact. Tell me on this call, how many of you do not have a touch phone? Nokia said that is going to be the most worst decision because touchscreens are going to be a huge failure. They never changed. They kept on with their screen and then the cautery keypad. They were trying to ape BlackBerry. Both BlackBerry and Nokia is nowhere in this list right now. So the lesson that we need to learn is to change with the changing times. If you do not adopt technology, what will happen is you will be rejected, easily rejected. If you don't adopt change, you fail. So the first mindset that you need to have, the if you don't look into any technology that we will be discussing further on, if you don't look into any of those technology, but one takeaway that you should definitely have after this session, or your takeaway should be change. If you stay adamant, what would happen is, if you stay without learning, without change, is to mean that you are making your way for failure. How many of you want failure in life? I think no one. The reason, if you don't change to technology, if you don't change to changes that is happening around you, then what would happen is people will move on, situations will move on. You will not be able to adapt. So adaptability is what drives the future. Because I remember Harisa telling me the only constant in this world is entropy, which is change. Harisa, you're on call, right? So moving on, what is in store for cloud automation, IoT, and edge? We have heard a lot of cloud story. What is actually cloud? How many computers do you have in the computer lab today? Because in that introductory video, I had seen a beautiful lab. How many of you know how many computers are there by count? Any idea? How many computers do we have in the lab? When we set up the lab, it had a server room, and then we used to connect all our computers to that central console there. We are at a juncture where owning a computer lab is as good as having just a mobile phone. The power of cloud, whenever we used to set up a huge infrastructure, the infrastructure cost itself was, say, 50 to 60% of a project. So what was happening was only companies like HP, Dell, Infosys, Wipro, or TCS, they were able to take load of huge projects that made people to go ahead and only concentrate on those companies, which means power, say opportunities were restricted within these companies. With the introduction of cloud, specifically the AWS, what has transpired is you can take as many servers that you want, set it up, use it, and then disown it or remove it after your need is done. Because whenever we buy physical commodity, whenever we buy physical servers, you end up paying for the entire say high cost servers, and you keep it even when your use of that particular system is only to run during, say, probably once in a year annual report, or once in 6 months an audit report. So that is where you needed all these huge compute power. So comparing to the cost that was invested in the huge amount of physical hardware, with the advent of internet and say internet 6, what has happened is we have got huge networking infra, which means if I have a set of servers where I can virtualize and share my compute power with different people, and they pay for only those part or only those time that they were using it, we can still have a sustainable model. And that was the advent of cloud. The benefit of cloud is that you don't own your infra. You just pay for that amount of usage that you have done, only for that amount of usage. So what benefit or what kind of a change that has brought about? Small companies were able to have huge set of infra, which was never within their reach because you need to spend a lot. But bring cloud, your total expense has come down. Now, what is it when it comes to you as uh, an aspirant to enter the industry? If you learn something on cloud computing, pick up a certification, do some projects in AWS, Azure, Microsoft Azure, or Google GCP, all these three public clouds. So I reiterate, the major players in cloud right now are AWS, which is Amazon Web Service, then Microsoft Azure, and then Google GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform. These are the biggest players, and it has a huge potential of job opportunity. So how do you crack it? There are free accounts given by all the three public providers because they need people, more and more people, more projects to come on the cloud. So they give free accounts, they give entry level credits so that you can leverage. The next project that you need to do, you don't do on your lab computers. Take up a space in cloud, be it AWS or any other public cloud. Do a virtual project completely on the cloud. The next layer to that is cloud native. Cloud native is built for cloud. Right now, what we do, we write based on the client server architecture or the web architecture. There is a completely different stream when you start working with cloud, that you see that cloud itself has a separate architecture which is optimized for cloud. Meaning, in our normal say, I hope you're all aware of the client server architecture and then the read write structure that we do with the database. I think Rajula Miss still teaches all those database systems to all of you. Right. So in the client server architecture, what we do is we have innumerous read cycles that are given. So this ideally is when you come side, because when you do innumerous read, what would happen is your data transfer or your data cost increases. So that has given a way, it has opened up a way to define a new architecture, how it works on the cloud. So from there, it has come to the thought of microservices, API driven architecture. So mini apps, function driven or serverless applications. So these are areas that you can go ahead and explore and probably do a small project for your semester, which means in 6 semesters, or probably start from second year, um, in 4 semesters you will have 4 credible projects which is industry savvy, which is up to the mark of the industry. You end up doing the normal library management system, you end up doing a hospital management system, but definitely those are not bad projects. You do the same thing but do it in uh, a different implementation model. Do it for the cloud. Do it in a SaaS model, software as a service. So that is what adds your value. That's what actually make you industry ready. That should be the approach for any technology. It could be the old wine, but in a new bottle. So that exposure you need to have. You need to know what new technology can be adopted to go ahead and get your work done and present it across. It's all about presentation. It's all about telling the world that you have done a beautiful product or a project. Now, coming back to cloud, the next part is automation. In cloud, we don't actually go ahead and do a repetitive task by hand. Everything on the cloud can be automated with either a shell script or a PowerShell script, or you have Bash, you have automation templates, you have automation tools like the Devops tools. You will have Chef, Puppet, Ansible to do all your repetitive tasks. You just have to code and keep. So cloud has brought in a new way of doing stuff which we learned in the academics as only a possibility. But in the cloud world, this is done today. I say my team, we deploy 100 to 200 servers, fully blown servers with patching, with all its security amendments, with all the networking, subnetting, securities built in. 150 servers can be deployed in 5 minutes. Earlier, if you take for 150 servers of, say, high compute, it used to take nothing less than a month to set this up. With automation, we launch these servers, the same servers or the same configuration. We do it in 5 minutes because scripting, automation. So what you saved is the cost and the time. So what has happened is technology has moved further in a very say in a very bold and uh, aggressive way. Bold and aggressive way. Technology is not waiting for uh, a tool to mature. If there is a problem, fix it and move on. People are not waiting for a new thing to come in. They're building their own new things. That is the change. So that is the introduction to cloud. So come cloud, we can see on the screen right now, we're talking about an IoT and an edge. What is that? How many of you know about Internet of Things? Have you heard about that? Have you already started learning? Is it covered in your latest syllabus update? I'm not so sure, but Internet of Things is where you have all your connected devices. Your connected devices is going to, yes, thank you, Jarin, and then I had one more yes on that. So thank you for that. Right now, all your devices, say uh, take a fridge. We used to have a scientific fiction telling that a fridge is going to order whatever item is missing in the fridge, but that is a reality today. you have the tide button where it orders a tide. In case if you press the button, it orders its plates order over the internet to the nearest tide vendor, and it gets it delivered. The card is automatically deducted as soon as the order is placed. Your fridge are IoT driven. It's completely sensor. If eggs are not there, it detects it, places the order for that particular item, gets it delivered. You just have to pick it and keep it in the fridge and consume. Every every nook and corner of the world is now covered by a camera. So these cameras have sensors. Any sensor, it could be a heat sensor, it could be a motion sensor, it could be innumerous sensors that take continuous data from across the environment. It feeds it onto the cloud. That's basically IoT. Your Internet of Things are connected devices. Now, what people have seen with big data analytics, there are a lot of redundant data that comes up and piles up on your actual processing or your analytics server. What came in between is an edge layer and a fog layer, meaning only those data that needs to be processed that need to go into the cloud layer. So now we're talking about three-tiered cloud architecture, fog layer and edge layer with Raspberry Pis, and then a lot of say intermediary or liaising hardwares, which are not high power computing softwares. These are all check gates. So these are now implemented, which has a huge future. Any questions before we move on? Okay, so just to bring back what we discussed here is cloud, automation, IoT, and edge computing is definitely fields that you can probably look into. This is what we covered. On cloud, you have the top three players. SaaS, PaaS, and anything as a service is definitely the future of applications. SaaS is software as a service. We as a company, as in Finastra as a company, is talking about completely stop selling products. We earlier used to buy products. We used to get CDs for Microsoft Office. We used to get Oracle installations. Off late, nothing. They are all online packages. We stopped selling products. What we are selling right now is APIs. You need this functionality, just consume this API. People have come out of the normal purchase because if I buy a suite of application, Office 365, I end up paying, say, probably 10,000 rupees, and I use only the Word application or Excel. So the industry has woken up. Industry has asked, and the need, I only need that much. So why should I pay for the remaining stuff which I really don't want? So that is where SaaS comes in. You pay only for things that you use. Platform as a service is where the cloud has gone next level, where they give platforms for you to build. You don't have to own anything. The the cloud provider will take care of your platform. You just have to worry about your code. Anything as a service is where we are headed to. You need anything. You need parents. You need teachers. So they will give it to you as a service. Jokes apart, anything as a service talks about the entire availability of services on pay as you go model. So automation again, for cloud automation, orchestration is what we call when you need 1,000 servers, you write a piece of code for that, and that is known as infrastructure as code, IAC. That holds a lot of a scope when it comes to infrastructure, application coding, and application CI/CD pipelines. So learn about uh, infrastructure as code or automation. Containers is definitely highly recommended way of cloud deployment. Where how many of you have heard about Dockers or Kubernetes? We are talking about clusters and microservices. huge monolithic applications are failing, and when it fails, it takes away the entire functionality. So, for instance, you're logging in to, say, probably Facebook. The login screen fails, which means the entire application is failing. The way that monolith application works, if there is a small bug in any of those, uh, um, say I have an application like Amazon or the Flipkart. I can, if I'm not able to log in, but still I can still see all my, uh, say, all the shopping, not the cart, all the shopping pages. I can see all the categories, but I'm still not able to log in. Meaning, if it was a monolithic application, if the login part has any failure, the entire site will not come up. So that is where people moved from a monolithic application to microservice driven or Kubernetes based clusters, where all these modules are talking to each other through APIs. It is different standalone apps which are connected each to each other, which comes up as a single app. So that kind of an architecture is known as microservice architecture. We are talking about full stack testing, monitoring, reporting. These are all automated in this world, as in the world of DevOps. So DevOps is a combination. Dev driven by agile, uh, the agile way of working. Earlier, we used to work with waterfall. Waterfall is a project management technique where one happens after the other, a pipeline. So DevOps comes with the thought of agile. Agile is, it is not structured. It is, you can mix and match. You can mix and match your work pattern with how you want to go ahead and get your project or your software developed in, without any constraints. So DevOps is driving the industry right now. So in DevOps, what you can learn? You can learn a lot of automation tools like those that we mentioned, the Azure DevOps, you have Jenkins, Chef, Puppet, a lot of DevOps tools that are available, which can land you a good job in this cloud and automation sphere. CI/CD. Earlier, when an application has to be released, it had to be moved into an executable file, updated on the main server, spread across all the users. That was the way of implementation. With the CI/CD pipeline, what has happened is it's completely driven from the coder. You check in to something like a Bitbucket or a GitHub. Your code is processed. There is automation testing that is happening at the code level. There is code quality check, after which it gets combined, merged into the main branch, which gets processed to get a release branch. And from the release, it's all orchestrated automatically and it is pointed to the dev environment. It qualifies, it goes through all the grilling test, all the quality test in the dev environment. It matures into the QA, from QA into production. So this particular pipeline can completely be automated. So that is what CI/CD does. We are talking about a blue green and red black or canary kind of deployments right now. CI/CD is continuous integration, continuous delivery, CI/CD. So this particular track also has a lot of opportunities. When you do a complete application release, CI/CD plays a major role. So now the testing, monitoring, and reporting with full stack coming into picture with agile in place, you can see that roles are getting merged into a single one. When you think about yourself as a full stack developer. Do not think of yourself as a QA person, only as a developer or a project manager. These roles are far right now being merged into one. So always keep in mind that learning new things, being hands on, is definitely the way ahead. So these are few numbers of how things would change, the kind of impact data analytics that can have in the near future. So these are all published studies based on the trends. We can see that by far it's going to be a $300 billion kind of a business, which means any industry. We had a lot of job opportunities when we had that industrial revolution. We were all moving into cities where industries were. We can see a lot of inflow into Bombay. We can see a lot of inflow into Chennai, where industries were coming in, because that is where investments were happening. This, if you go by the trend, you can see data market or data analytics market is where people are expecting investments to come in, which means you and me will have a lot of opportunities there where we can make it big as a career. Keep in mind, wherever you hear, if you have that analytical background, if you're good in maths, if you have, Remamus would say, definitely she's back in picture. If you have a lot of that, say, passion, or if you feel that you're good in that, this definitely is a promising market. Okay, so this is how we normally qualify data, as in it's not about having a huge data, it's having the right volume of data. It should have variety of data. If it is the same data, there is no point in analyzing that. The velocity, how frequently your data is coming in, which ideally can create value by doing data analytics. So this is the basics of how you qualify your data. So having chunk of raw data makes no sense when it comes to analytics. It should qualify, your data should qualify in these parameters so that it can bring about the so-called value. And this is what would be driving this industry, the one that we had shown. Not that having any data will make it, but the right set of data. The tools that can help you reach that is Hadoop, Apache's Spark and Storm, Google's BigQuery, Data Torrent. MQTT is another protocol of IoT. Node-RED, Ceph. These are things that you can probably read more, how you can bring it into one particular a small project that you might be doing. Remember, having a Hadoop or or a data torrent or a Kaggle is not a huge thing now. You can take data sets that are available in Kaggle. You can do a Kaggle challenge. That is, data is available there. It's already there. You can implement it on cloud, which means you don't have to own an infra. You just have to pay peanuts when it comes to the actual execution of a project. So these are things which are not, which was earlier the privilege of the say informed, or probably the people who had that money power. But right now it is out there for you and me to go ahead and grab. The only thing that is stopping from you from doing that is you. The moment that you understand the value of it, you can easily get that done. So that naturally gives way. Are we on track? Are you all with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are with you.
Is it okay? Is the going okay? Are things sounding right in the way that it need to be? Are you getting any
Yes,
questions?
everything is fine, sir. Everything is fine.
How do we know? Sangeeta says yes. Because artificial intelligence is something that can, even without hearing, even without looking from you, artificial intelligence can identify what you're doing or what you will be doing in the next half an hour. So that is why this question becomes all the more important. AI is a state of mind. There are a lot of philosophical questions that is happening across the world right now. Will machines take over will machines rule over humans if this is the way that AI or AI based systems are being developed? There is a, you can hear this, right?
Yes, sir. Audible.
The Brussels Motor Show, the biggest car event in Belgium, where all car brands show off their newest technologies. But it was Volvo who hijacked all the attention with the first car that could recruit its own technicians. Volvo presents the recruiting car.
Ik ben de HR90. Ik ben op zoek naar onderhoudstechnici voor de Volvo-fabriek in Gent.
200 job openings were announced on social media, inviting everyone to come and check out the first car that recruits its own engineers. To conduct the interviews, we tapped into the car's technology.
Welcome, Oliver. Glad to see you put on your blue shirt for the interview. Can you show me where my electric compressor is?
Sure. Here.
Please allow me to play some piano music to make you feel more comfortable. Tell me, why should I hire you?
I've been passionate about coding.
By applying AI, we could actually test social and technical skills and make unbiased evaluations of all applicants. These were sent to Volvo's HR managers for further interviews. Changing the conversation from cars to jobs got us national media attention.
Et l'entretien d'embauche sera d'abord mené par un véhicule et par son intelligence artificielle.
70% of all news coverage about the Brussels Motor Show was dedicated to Volvo. More than 1 in 2 Belgians was reached through PR coverage alone, leading to 300% more price requests. And the 200 vacancies, well, they were all filled.
How was that? Really? So this is happening as and when we are speaking. Machines or robots with AI are tracking us. Google knows what we would do, what would be our next search. The moment that you type the first alphabet of the search, you will be astonished that it gives you an entire list of things that you really wanted to check. Earlier, we used to type the entire sentence, but right now the first word, because Google is listening, okay, Google is always listening to what you say. So that is the world that we live in today. So this is how they do it. This is how things converge to go ahead and make what we see as AI today. We were talking about artificial intelligence starting from the 1950s when people were inventing or working on computing, say probably from the analytical engine and then the days on. As soon as we got into say microprocessor driven computers, people started writing about artificial intelligence, and that becomes a reality. We did a lot of Power BI or data warehousing based analytics starting the 90s and then probably into the 2000s. But come the new age of 2010 and above, we can see a groundbreaking approach, a groundbreaking change with deep learning. People or algorithms being able to go ahead and decide on multiple things, multi-core, say multi-threading, these kind of processing powers being able to handle, say, algorithms that can, based on multiple mathematical models, decide on stuff, multiple data points. Say we're told that humans on a normal basis can handle up to 10 or 16 data points simultaneously. But come to computers with the deep learning algorithms, we're talking about, say, probably tens and thousands of data points simultaneously manipulated to come to a decision. So this makes it all the more, say, viable for artificially intelligent system to take over the decisions that man can make in a split of a second. So this compute power has really made that decision making in our brains that happens at a lightning speed. Computing was not at that level where we were or the AI powered systems were failing. As in they were not mature enough, I would say. They were not failing, but they were not mature enough to make that fast decision. But the kind of power that you have on your phone was the power that a mainframe computer probably had in the 80s. The one that you carry in your hand was paid in millions to be kept in a specifically or a dedicated entire building that you carry in your hand right now. So think about those AI machines that can decide on stuff, which has given power to the AI, which we saw in Volvo. So these are real life happenings. We are talking about the next gen of work where our normal work would completely be replaced with artificial intelligence. Now, I don't want to go ahead and defy the purpose because we see here in this screen artificial intelligence towards the left, the big data part on the right. If you analyze that, our job lies here. Our in programming lies here. Are you able to see that marker that I'm using?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Sure.
Marking can be.
Sure. So what is happening is artificial intelligence is something which is driven by all these analytics. You will have job here, you will have job here, you will have option here in getting the statistics, you will have data, say data analytics part, data collection part, data cleansing part. You will have jobs in data mining, deep learning, because all these facilitates final reach into your AI. That decision making, artificial brains can make a decision. We are talking about data mining, deep learning, machine learning, giving neural networks. Neural networks is something like you try and same wiring or the same way how your brain is wired for a decision making. So same architecture is what a neural network try to emulate. So these are all right now hot in the market. These are all right now working. This enables the moment that you get all these things done. You see, computer vision, NLP, generative models, these are all right now happening. The offspring of pure, if you're able to decide like your brain, that puts you into the artificial intelligence space. So now there comes a question of ethics. Your brain works, your artificial intelligent brain also work. So based on that, what will be the future? What will be the
Ashna, kindly mute the phone.
okay? Ashna Mol, thank you for that because I know someone is still there. So the future of AI, we heard in the opening speech that everything is going to be touched with this. These are the projections till 2025. You can see how or what all phases of life will be touched by the kind of changes or the kind of inventions that will be coming up through AI. Now, uh, one that really intrigues me is the way that the growth of AI would replace the jobs. Because if you see here, we had drawn a lot of stuff here in this particular page that have jobs here. We will have jobs in data mining. We'll have a lot of opportunities in DNN, which is neural networks. But think about the fact when artificial intelligence is able to write its own code, because it's a human brain that builds new languages, that writes new code. Artificial intelligence, we are making it capable. It's learning, and there will be one point where artificial intelligence will know how to write the next piece of code, how to create a new machine, the one that we definitely have seen in Terminator, the movie Terminator. So this, is it a fact or a fiction? If you analyze it, there definitely are 10 number of or n number of programs which is artificially intelligent, which can write its own code. Bayou, Deep Coder, these are examples of such uh, programs which can go ahead, take away all these part. This can immediately take away all your jobs from here because it will write its own program. All these are gone. Everything will be taken by AI itself. Are you getting that point? So now coming to the question, what is the need of doing all these? If AI will ultimately take over, what is the point? So that creates a new opportunity in programming AI. നമ്മൾ മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയും തലയ്ക്ക് മുകളിൽ വെള്ളം വന്നാൽ എന്ത്, അതിനു മുകളിൽ പാലം. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു രീതിയിൽ the way that you look at a problem, the same problem was there when computers were introduced. There were a lot of hue and cry saying that computers are going to take away your jobs. Yes, a lot of clerical jobs were taken off, but that gave way to a new way of life, which is computers. We are all sitting at our place and doing stuff right now just because of computers, because of computing. So if someone says that you will have all these redundant the moment that artificial intelligence is ready, then be ready to learn artificial intelligence. That opportunity that artificial intelligence or AI systems will give you, that will take you or define your future. So everything is an opportunity. Keep that point in mind. First point that we wanted as a takeaway is change. Always be ready to change. And then always be aware of new opportunities and be ready to take those. Okay. With this, I think a small story of what Stephen Hawking, you know who Stephen Hawking is, right? He is probably one of the biggest minds that we ever had after Newton. So for me, Hari sir is the kind of Stephen Hawking of our MES college. We used to learn a lot of stuff. His avid reading habits has helped us learn a lot of things. So there is this statement, there is this discussions that has always been there. Elon Musk is someone, Stephen Hawking is someone who is against AI, even though they understand the benefits, even though they understand the kind of leap that you can get for mankind. They are skeptical about unleashing the power of AI in its raw way without regulation. The story is that Stephen Hawking used to give an analogy of say you're building a new or a big city. Say let's take Erumely as a town. Yeah, Harizar is a legend. So I just read that. Great. And he definitely is a legend like Stephen. So the story is that when you're building a huge township in Erumely town, or say the steep climb where we get into the TP bus, the one that soon after the Erumely town, if you're building a huge township there and you have a small ant hill, So if looking at the larger picture, we would say, okay, demolish that land, that anthill, and let's build it, because it's going to have a set of hospitals, colleges, townships. So that is going to bring development. Let's do it. Now give this problem to an AI. AI decides the same way, as in, because of the larger impact, larger benefit that it brings in, you can demolish the anthill, let the ants perish. It will decide against that and then go ahead. Now, think about AI building something, and there are a couple of humans or the human beings. It's going to be a bigger good, but with that, a million humans might be killed. The kind of benefit that it will be bringing in is 100 billion. So AI will definitely decide, let's kill this a million human beings, because we are looking at a 100 billion people's life. And that is where he said, let's not place humanity in the position of those hands. Meaning, we should be very careful when it comes to handing it over or unleashing AI without its proper checks and proper, say, control over the technology. So this ideally is a philosophical part, but that does not deter any one of you on this call to go ahead and learn new things. Be mindful. These are the points, or these are the things that we just discussed, that the ML, DL, how it's going to go ahead and bring about the change, the vehicle routing problem, the constraint propagation. Vehicle routing is the one that's a good analogy to that, the anthill case that we mentioned. Like, there is a 90-year-old lady who is crossing the road, and there is a dog which ideally is also crossing. So which way will you steer the car? Will you hit the dog and then crash into the wall, or the dog, or will you hit the lady and then crash into the wall, killing the passengers? So that is an ethical question, that it's an inevitable situation where so let's replace the dog with a boy. A boy crossing and a 90-year-old lady crossing, and the car is coming at a high speed. Definitely is going to be a hit, but the question is, who will you hit? So that kind of questions, philosophical questions, comes into play. So decentralized systems, definitely, the quantum computing and then the decentralized system definitely has a huge future. The thing is, the more data a system is exposed to, the more it learns. So that is where people are running these challenges. If you see in Facebook, you get that 10-year-old challenge. You get this your parent-child challenge. Why do they need all these challenges to come in? Because there is an algorithm sitting at the back to see how people change. There is an algorithm who is Face app. Face app is a good example. You collect all those data, and then it learns how you will age, how you will create facial expressions, how will you do facial recognitions. So there is definitely a lot of analytics that is happening in that line, which is powering AI in the background. Blockchain. Definitely, you have heard about Bitcoin. People have made millions of dollars just by investing in a blockchain or the Bitcoin. It was a hype. Yesterday, incidentally, was the 10th year of um, decentralized ledger made public by Satoshi Nakamoto. He had opened it up in 10 years back, and he's completely made it public with no holding on to its assets. This ideally is a model that will see a lot of takers in the future. That is distributed computing, distributed ledger. Uh, Bitcoin, there's a question, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is nothing but a digital currency. The earlier problem with digital currencies was nobody can take an ownership on that these coins cannot be duplicated. This cannot be double spent. There was a problem of double spending, and there was this problem of acknowledging. So this was solved by the Bitcoin algorithm. The Bitcoin algorithm is completely driven by driven by the code. There is no one sitting and controlling it. This ledger is transparent. Your BCom students would know there is this double entry kind of a journal system, which is available with each and every participating node in the Bitcoin or the blockchain, um, say, ecosystem, where everyone knows what the other person does, which gives a sense of security. You can bring about trust. Otherwise, this trust is what bank holds. So we pay the bank charges as they provide us the security and the trust. But when it comes to Bitcoin or a blockchain, that trust is inherent in the system, so you don't pay extra amount to get your transactions done. So groundbreaking technology, not only into digital currency, but has a lot more of extrapolated impacts that DLT can bring about. The next leap is the quantum computing, where if you are able to do things here, uh, if you are able to do a small compute on the cloud right now, which ideally is 10 times or 100 times bigger than what we used to have, say, 20 years back, come quantum computers, we're talking about 2 to the power of 10 kind of a leap in the compute power, which ideally will make more impactful AI based systems to come into existence. Quantum computing is right now available as a SaaS model from various public providers, where you can take a share of quantum computing and then do it. Say, the best example that I can relate right now is if Rajamouli's movie, where which is Rajamouli's movie, by the way? Anyone? Bahubali. Yeah. So Bahubali has been known as one of the heavyweight of rendering. We used to have render farms. That's what we used to call render farms to run to create one or a animation sequence. It used to have, say, probably hundred thousands of servers, core servers sitting and then say rendering a scene. It used to take, say, probably hours together. The post production works for such movies comes to, say, probably 6 months with a million servers. If that is the kind of work, come quantum computings, you can do that in probably 2 days. So that is the kind of power that we're talking with quantum computing. So the techniques that makes a difference or make it fast is these. Tech in the not new normal. Like what I said, every change is an opportunity. So we are in the COVID situation or the post-COVID situation right now. We thought online shopping was gone, e-commerce was gone. We thought robotics and drones don't have that kind of a value, but it was AI ML which was taking the center stage. But you can see that a lot of opportunity came up. We talking right now, we are talking on a WebEx call, a beautifully conducted call by Betty Miz and team. How was this possible? Just because we all were able to have such a collaboration tool, right? So these, every change brought about an opportunity, and this, you can see these technologies have taken forefront again. So these kind of changes, these kind of technology advancements is what you need to keep an eye open for. This will take you to the next level. Your careers definitely will be bright, and you will have a wonderfully rewarding future if you keep open yourself to technology, learn, unlearn, and relearn. So then, coming back to what Harisar says, the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. In the sense, almost there on time. Did we do that? Asha ma'am?
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Now we have a Q&A session.
On that. So that is where Bitcoin has survived and it has got its value as we see it today.
Okay, sir. Sir, we have another question like what all opportunities are there in the field of graphics? Is there any special courses for getting into that field?
And this definitely there are a lot of courses, there are a lot of say classes that you can attend, but I would recommend self-learning. Learn, say, probably a paragraph a day. If you are in the first year, you will have almost say 1,000 days to go ahead and 1,000 days or around 1,000 days to go ahead and complete. And in 1,000 days, what you learn is nothing when compared to what a class can offer. Because uh, in a class or a course, what you get is very structured material for that specific course. But that's not what you want. What you need is something like a Stack Overflow. What you need is something like a uh, tech gig site where you need to discuss code. You need to know what is happening in your area of interest. Not everyone can be an AI analytical person. Why? Because it's your passion that should drive it. Just because you want to learn something, if you learn it, you will always be restricted to that. With that, I'm not trying to discredit any structured course. What I'm trying to bring to you is to identify your interest. Now once you have identified that, LinkedIn Learning is something really good. Pluralsight, Cloudera, uh, not Cloudera, you have Cloudify. There are a couple of online courses that you can. Coursera is someone. Simply Learn is good. So online portals is what I would recommend. There are a lot of free courses that you can take from there. Start with that. Then identify where your interest is taking you. Take a certified course for that. And now that everything is virtual, you don't have to go to a local center, because YouTube, find YouTube videos for all this technology, name it, and then you have it on YouTube. Search for the right keyword, you will find not less than 10 videos on all those, and all of them trending as well. So point is, identify your first step is to identify where you need to be, then look for a course which will give you that. I will only recommend those that are international, as in that caters to the international audience. We don't want to have a learning which is very local, in the sense, um, you are playing to a global audience. So your thought process, your say kind of learning should match to that kind of an audience. Right now, anywhere in the world, earlier only niche colleges or niche or the elite only used to have access to such repositories. Go for MIT's uh, say online courses, go for say Stanford courses. Yeah, you need to pay for that, but that is really worth it. It's very structured, and open up to that kind of courses. And during this COVID times, all these international universities includes the Cambridge and the Oxfords, they have opened up their online and their libraries for free for all of them to go ahead and make use of it. So hunt for such resources and make use of it.
Okay, sir. Yes, definitely, sir. Currently, our students are already doing some courses in this Coursera and like Swayam courses and like that. So probably your answer might help them to move towards. Now we have yet another question regarding what all add-on courses have to be done to by how to be done by the students to make them all for a full stack developer?
Full stack developer, if you do one project, you pick up one project, you do end to end, you become a full stack developer. Don't let anyone take any share of it. Start today, find a business case. So thereby you become a business analyst. Note down your uh, say requirements, your solution, the kind of architecture. By doing that, you become a functional consultant, a solution architect, a solution designer. Start working on it. Write your code. So thereby you become a developer or a senior developer, a line of work. Then you design your database. You become a DBA. Then you test your application. So you do all your QA tester part, and then try to present it. That's where you become your um, say um, say your actual delivery manager or delivery line of work. So that makes doing a full end-to-end project makes you a full stack developer. That's what I would say. Otherwise, there is no so, excuse me. There is no such thing as that doing one stack. Say, for instance, take a lamb stack or a mean stack. A lamb stack is something like a Linux, Ansible, Magento PHP. I'm not very clear about the lamb stack, whether it's all Linux, Ansible. You can look it up. Mean stack is again a Magento, Ansible, ME. I don't remember. Let me look it up. A mean stack and a lamb stack. These are stacks, technology stacks. Mean stack is yeah, and that is Mongo, uh, Angular, Node.js, and Express. That's a mean stack. Similarly, you have a lamb stack. So doing this will make you exposed to what is near to uh, a full stack developer. Hope that clarifies.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
So, this is my personal question. Okay. So many
Okay.
vendors are providing kids with the coding classes like White Hat Junior, Ninja class. This helps the small kids in any sense, sir.
White Hat Junior is something that I would not endorse, as in definitely coding is the next level. Coding, if you need to make it big, coding definitely is the next thing. But what uh, a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old need to know is how to be analytical. Because if you do not have that mindset of being analytical, you cannot be a good coder. So getting them exposed, if you see kids of today, my 3-year-old kid, she happily opens up YouTube, says, be it Alexa, be it Google, opens up, talks to the computer or the phone, and then brings up what she really needs. So this is something that we even now, a person of 40 or 50 leave people about above 55 to be talking to a system and then bringing up stuff like this. So they are the gen alpha, which is anyone who is born after 2010. They definitely need a different learning or a methodology than what we have seen. They are in line. They are born into the AI world. So equipping them with whether it is coding, I don't know, but they need a different set of skills than what we had learned, and that should be taught at the very young age. That's what I am doing with my kids. So I cannot say anything against white hat or the kind of thing, but A conventional learning, bookish learning for them, that will not suffice, to be sure. And they are born into technology, which we were not privileged. So at this point, new approaches definitely is the need, and programming is only one of them. Now, what lies ahead is something that we need to explore, but um, that approach to catch them young is really required.
Yes, sir. Well, when I started mentioning, that's all with Q&A session. When I mentioned that the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open mind, and our resource person make it open and rich as well. Rich as well. Okay. From this session, our kids they take away a lot of information that are not available from internet through stretch maybe available, but in one stretch they would not be getting it. Indeed, everything is from your experience only, sir. And the most exciting thing I feel is the recruiting car. You played a video regarding this recruiting done by this Volvo. Was really interesting and new to me as well as for the participants, I think. Then you mentioned so many things like we have to change we have to adopt to changes with the changing times, otherwise we will fail. All these are actually advices to our kids in the sense BCA students and MSc students, and the technology has to be learn, unlearn, and relearn. You have included so many things within a short span of time, and then emphasizing the point that learning new things, being hands-on, will definitely goes ahead. So thank you, sir. And before we moving on to this thanking ceremony, we have students, sir, this is for students. Students, we have conducted a competition of brochure designing and logo designing on December 2nd. That's on the Computer Literacy Day. Now we are announcing the prices of the same. First prize of brochure designing goes to Kevin KR of first year BCA. First prize of logo designing goes to Shamjad Masood Nasser of final year BCA. Congratulations to the winners. Students, there is a photo session. So all the participants are requested to kindly switch on their videos so that we'll be able to take the screenshots. All the participants are requested to turn on their videos. Students, kindly turn on your videos. Only Sankita is there. Okay, now we can move on. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. I call Miss Sangita S to give away the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Sangeeta. It's my great pleasure to express thanks to all the panelists. I extend my sincere thanks to our honorable chief guest, Mr. Binish Moulana sir, to take out time from his busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you for this inspiring and encouraging us with your words, sir. A special thanks to Mr. Mahim Eman sir, Principal of MES College Erumely, for providing the special support to make this seminar. Thank you very much, sir. A special thanks to Mrs. Ramadevi ma'am, Vice Principal and Coordinator of IQSC, for being backbone for this wonderful section. Thank you, ma'am. And I extend my gratitude to Mrs. Betty Joseph, ma'am, HOD of our Computer Science Department, for organizing this seminar. Thank you, ma'am. And I must not forget to thank the organizing team and all other coordinators in this association for working hard from the last few days to make this seminar successful. And also thanks to all our participants for their active participation. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Now we have come to the end of the session. Let us wind up with National Anthem.
Binish, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. It's a privilege.
ഇനി സേവനങ്ങൾക്ക് ആവശ്യമുണ്ട് ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും വിളിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കും.
തീർച്ചയായും മാഡം, തീർച്ചയായും. Anytime.
Okay, thank you, Binish.
Sure.
സമയം ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി ചെലവഴിച്ചതിന്.
Thank you. എല്ലാവർക്കും thank you.
Okay.
Sure, bye.
ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി കോളേജിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ഭാവിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ആശങ്ക പലതായിരുന്നു. എന്നാൽ സുന്ദരമായ ആ ക്യാമ്പസിലേക്ക് കയറി ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ആത്മവിശ്വാസം എനിക്ക് ലഭിച്ചു. നല്ല സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ, സംശയമകറ്റി വെളിച്ചം പകർന്നു തന്ന അധ്യാപകർ, പുതിയ ആശയങ്ങൾ നൽകിയ ലൈബ്രറി, ഏകാഗ്രതയും നല്ല ഓർമ്മകളും നൽകിയ ക്ലാസ് റൂമുകൾ, ഡിജിറ്റൽ ലോകത്തേക്ക് പറക്കാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ലാബ്. അങ്ങനെ MES കോളേജ് എന്നെ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് സ്വപ്നം കാണുവാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ വളരെ ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ പിന്നിലാക്കി ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ പറന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. You have to dream before your dreams can come true.
MES College Erumely, proposed PO Erumely, Kottayam, unaided arts and science college under the Muslim Educational Society, approved by Government of Kerala and affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University.
ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി കോളേജിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ഭാവിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ആശങ്ക പലതായിരുന്നു. എന്നാൽ സുന്ദരമായ ആ ക്യാമ്പസിലേക്ക് കയറി ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ആത്മവിശ്വാസം എനിക്ക് ലഭിച്ചു. നല്ല സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ, സംശയമകറ്റി വെളിച്ചം പകർന്നു തന്ന അധ്യാപകർ, പുതിയ ആശയങ്ങൾ നൽകിയ ലൈബ്രറി, ഏകാഗ്രതയും നല്ല ഓർമ്മകളും നൽകിയ ക്ലാസ് റൂമുകൾ, ഡിജിറ്റൽ ലോകത്തേക്ക് പറക്കാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ലാബ്, അങ്ങനെ MES കോളേജ് എന്നെ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് സ്വപ്നം കാണുവാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ വളരെ ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ പിന്നിലാക്കി ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ പറന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. You have to dream before your dreams can come true.
MES College Erumely, proposed PO Erumely, Kottayam, unaided Arts and Science College under the Muslim Educational Society, approved by Government of Kerala and affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University.